day, welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Thelma Okuru. 1 year after the red zone, Nigeria's economy has finally found its way out of recession. Data on the country's gross domestic product released today shows the economy is finally growing. Africa's largest economy shrank by 1.5% in 2016. It was its worst drop in 25 years. It's the news many Nigerians have been waiting to hear. The country is finally out of recession. In its latest data, the National Bureau of Statistics says the country's economy grew in the second quarter of 2017, expanding to 0.55% year-on-year. This technically brings an end to a nightmare that has plagued the country's economy for 5 quarters.
Basically, being out of recession is largely a technical thing, because it's just a question of the GDP growth moving from a negative territory to a positive territory. For operators in business, we look beyond the numbers. We look at the practical realities, on ground. We look at the quality of the investment environment, because this is what affects the productivity of businesses. So therefore, we'll be looking at things like our infrastructure, particularly power. We'll be looking at what is happening to our roads, what is happening to our railway system, what is happening to other major variables. And we also look at what is happening to policies, because it is policies that will determine to a large extent how investments will also perform.
Nigeria's economic recovery has been attributed to growth in oil production, agriculture, manufacturing and trade. The government had to strive to diversify the economy away from crude oil in the wake of the economic downturn.
It was helped by the realization by government that they needed to change some policies, particularly the foreign exchange regime. When we had a lot of oil money and oil prices were high, we could afford the luxury of a fixed exchange rate, which was not advisable for any economy, strong or weak. But when the weakness of the economy was revealed by the fall in oil prices, after some reluctance, the central bank reacted positively by enabling the foreign exchange regime to float and have various options, windows in the economy.
But despite this news, Nigerians are yet to feel the impact as the cost of living is still on the rise. It appears the economic bounce back is only on paper.
The recession is not over for a large section of Nigerians, especially those below the middle income level. Their life incomes, their lifestyles have not changed. So they are effectively very much still in recession. What has only happened is that the economy as a whole has come out of recession. In other words, the economy is now growing. But for the low-income person whose salaries have not gone up, or the unemployed who has not got a job, is still very deep in recession until he or she gets a job and the low-income worker gets a significant increase in their wages. Then they begin to see the signs. But the level at which the signs of coming out of recession is mostly at the business level.
We need to see how we connect these GDP numbers to the welfare of the people. And you need the right kind of policies to make that happen. The average citizen is worried, especially now, about high cost of goods and services. They are worried about high cost of food, high cost of transportation, high cost of welfare. They are worrying about issues of jobs and employment. So we need to also put in place specific policies to address these critical concerns about the welfare of the people.
Even though there are projections Nigeria's economy will grow further in 2017, experts say the country may not be fully out of the woods. It wants the government to continue with more policies to prevent a recurrence.
So we need to restructure our tax policy to ensure that we use our tax policies to encourage investment across all levels. The big investors, the small investors, particularly sectors that we need to encourage to be able to diversify the economy. And our procurement policy, I've mentioned that our fiscal policy, our trade policy is also important. Trade policy is about imports and exports.
One significant policy was freeing the exchange rates, allowing the exchange rate to find its level, particularly at the investment and exports window, which is close, very close to open market. So if the government did not do that, it would have been very difficult to come out of recession. So government needs to pursue that to its logical conclusion, remove the several prices of foreign exchange, because a dollar is a dollar.
Nigeria no doubt faces a daunting task ensuring the economy remains above waters. It is pinning its hopes on the growth of other sectors like agriculture and the rise in oil sector, which led to the recession in 2016. At the moment, agriculture, which contributes around 23% of GDP, has rebounded with growth of 3%, while oil prices recovered slightly with growth of 1.6% year-on-year. But despite these positive indicators, Nigeria's recovery remains fragile. Meanwhile, the Nigerian government is reacting to the latest on its economy. The presidency says the new report is a result of vigorous implementation of the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan launched earlier this year by President Muhammadu Buhari. The International Monetary Fund had predicted that Nigeria will move out of recession in 2017 with an economic growth of 0.8%. The president says the real impact of coming out of recession will be better felt when, quote, ordinary Nigerians experience a change in their living conditions, end of quote. Human rights watchdog Amnesty International says no fewer than 381 civilians have been killed by Boko Haram militants in northeast Nigeria and Cameroon since April 2017. In its latest report, Amnesty International says in Nigeria, the sect killed 223 people, while 158 were killed in neighboring Cameroon by the insurgents. According to the organization, its data showed an increase in Boko Haram attacks between April to early September compared to the corresponding period in 2016. The report added that most of the attacks occurred in Borno State, with many of them suicide attacks carried out by women and girls forced into the act. At least 319 suspected cases of cholera and 20 deaths have been reported in Borno State, northeast Nigeria. This latest data is according to the Nigerian Center for Disease Control. The NCDC says the disease currently affects 6 areas in the state, with Muna Garage, internally displaced persons camp on the outskirts of the capital Maiduguri, the most affected of all the areas. Unknown gunmen on Tuesday launched attack on a police station in Bayelsa State, south-south Nigeria, killing a police officer and injuring 3 others. According to eyewitnesses, the attack was carried out by suspected oil thieves. The incident comes a week after 4 soldiers were killed in an ambush at Lutugbene, a community in southern Ijo local government area of the state. The police is yet to issue an official statement on the incident. Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has for the first time officially met with the new Commissioner of Police in Lagos, Imohimi Edgo. The meeting was held in his office in Ikeja, Lagos. At that meeting, the outgoing Commissioner of the state, Fatai Owosheni, was also present to pay respect to the meeting.
As he draws the curtain of his time in office, outgoing Police Commissioner in Lagos State, Fatai Owosheni, has one last task to perform. He is leading Imohimi Edgo, the newly appointed Police Commissioner of Lagos, on his first official visit to State Governor Akinwumi Ambode. The modest ceremony took place on Tuesday at the Lagos State Governor's office in Alausa, Ikeja. Among those present to witness the event, top government officials and members of various security forces in Lagos State. Taking a final bow from the job, outgoing Commissioner Owosheni spared no details when he listed some of his achievements while in charge of security in Lagos State for 2 years. Among them, the significant capture of notorious kidnapper Chukwudumeme Onwamadike, also known as Evans. Imohimi Edgo served as his deputy at this time.
With all the challenges we faced, You have been actively involved in every step of our operation. And of course, that is why we can talk of a Lagos now, that those notorious criminals that before the assumption of Your Excellency of as the governor of Lagos State, that they've been looking for 4, 5, 6 years. It's when Your Excellency assumed this office, and within the past 2 years, with the active role that you've played, that you were able to overcome them. And including the notorious Evans, that has been a terror in the state. Criminals now dare Lagos, even the ones that commit their offenses out of Lagos, they dare not come into Lagos, and this is because you have supported us.
We in government also have decided that without a safe city, we cannot have a prosperous state. And the prosperity and the peace that Lagos State is enjoying now is actually founded under that fabric of the safety of lives and properties. So, and I want to draw that down. I use that to officially welcome the new Commissioner of Police, the person of Mr. Imoime Edgar. Like he said, and like the outgoing commissioner said, he is very familiar with the terrain of Lagos and the security architecture of Lagos. So we are comfortable that he doesn't have to start trying to learn the ropes. He understands the criminal architecture of what this state portends and the enormity of the assignment that has been given to him. On our part, we'll make sure that we support you and that we support your men also. The same hand of fellowship that we offer to the outgoing commissioner will be offered to you, and we'll also ensure that the city is safe. What is most important for us is that we must keep a safe city. Lagos must be safer, Lagos must be cleaner, and it's in that safety that we can invite investors to come in. That's where we can project our 24/7 economy. So we cannot afford not to have a vibrant police force.
Not showing signs of being daunted by the enormous task ahead of him, Edgar promised to ensure he retains the confidence of residents in the state.
I want to assure His Excellency that during my own watch, he will have no cause for complaints or concern. We will serve the people of Lagos with all our hearts and all our minds. Let me use this opportunity also to warn criminals, hoodlums, that it will not be business as usual. I also want to use this opportunity, I'm happy my colleagues are here, they will pass the message to their subordinates. Issues of human rights abuses, corruption, indiscipline generally, it will no longer be a slap on the wrist. The full weight of police regulations and the law will be meted out to anybody found wanting during my watch.
No doubt, there is immense duty before Edgar as police commissioner of Africa's biggest commercial city, Lagos. Only time will tell how well he thrives with this huge task.
Minister of Health Isaac Adewale has appealed to the National Association of Resident Doctors (NARD) to suspend their strike action. Adewale says another round of meeting has been scheduled for Wednesday to find a lasting solution to the strike action. Meanwhile, the minister has directed heads of federal government hospitals to ensure that all other medical doctors in the other strata are available to fill the vacuum. He wants the hospitals to employ the services of doctors who are currently undergoing the mandatory National Youth Service Corps program to ensure there is no break in medical delivery. The Kaduna State government says peace and order has been restored to troubled communities in the southern part of the state. State Governor Nasir El-Rufai expressed satisfaction with the atmosphere in Benin Gwari local government area, where cattle rustlers and armed herdsmen were said to have terrorized incidents. He also lauded the efforts of the security agencies towards restoring peace in the communities and for ensuring a hitch-free Salah celebration. El-Rufai assured the government was doing everything possible to ensure sustain the peace, security and development of the area.
Corruption not in my country.
Hello? Yeah, I found your wallet in front of a supermarket. Meet me at Apple Junction. Yes, I'll be waiting for you.
Now we find out. Two of us.
Thank you very much, officer. You know, it's surprising that men like you still exist in the police force.
Yes, so...
Oh, yes.
This is just a token of my appreciation.
Oh, no, you don't need to do this. We are only doing our job.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
You're welcome.
Now I know police is really my friend.
Yes.
Friend. Hey. Which came up with this one? I don't understand.
You know your problem. You are greedy. I'm a policeman who is doing his job. All forms of corruption in the force. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Up next, we have business stories with Fidelia Agwuncha.
Thank you, Thelma. The Federal Inland Revenue Service says it has generated a sum of 2.11 trillion naira as revenue from January to July 2017. The service disclosed this in a progress report showing their revenue performance and impact of the new tax regime from January to July 2017. A breakdown of the report showed that the FIRS collected 720.28 billion naira as petroleum profit tax and 542.22 billion naira as value-added tax revenue from January to June. It had also collected 679.9 billion naira as company income tax and 91.4 billion naira as education tax at that period. The Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria says it is not aware of the bid claimed to have been made by the Ethiopian government for Arik Air Nigeria, Nigeria's largest domestic airline. CNN had reported that Ethiopia's managing director of international services disclosed that the airline had made an offer and was waiting for the response of the Nigerian government. But AMCON in its latest statement said it has no knowledge of any discussion related to the bid. U.S. oil prices rose on Tuesday as the gradual restart of refineries in the Gulf of Mexico raised demand for crude. Brent crude futures dipped 3 cents to $52.31 a barrel, while U.S. crude traded at $47.55 a barrel. Texas and Monday edged towards recovery from the devastation of Hurricane Harvey as shipping channels, oil pipelines, and refineries restarted some operations. That's all on business. More stories coming up. Do stay tuned.
Corruption not in my country.
That was a very good business.
Yeah.
The furniture you brought was very perfect.
But that's how we roll.
Because then let me do you receipts.
Yeah. How much was it again?
1 million naira.
Okay, write 2.5.
Mbano. The deal was for 1 million naira now.
Okay, write 3 million. I'll give you 500.
Oh no, I don't do business like that now. Yeah.
In that case, give me back my check. Let me go and look for someone that understand business.
Take.
Your loss.
It is only for incorruptible customers. What are you talking?
Now get out.
What kind of this?
You will just die.
No,
you will die.
That is the door. Now get out from here.
Rubbish.
Look, my people. Make una only add money for original invoice price. That's not corruption. Say no. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Glad to have you back. Kenya's opposition leader Raila Odinga is not ready for a rerun of the presidential election. Odinga has set several conditions for taking part in the election on October 17th. His conditions include the sacking of several election commission officials, a review of the electronic transmission of results, and for all 8 presidential candidates who took part in the August 8 poll to be allowed to contest in the upcoming election. South Africa's economy is out of recession following its 2.5% growth results announcement quarter-on-quarter. Agriculture, forestry and fishing were the largest contributors to the growth of the economy. Now, this is a relief for the nation, particularly following the downgrade to junk status by international credit ratings agencies. Super Eagles General Rowe is happy with the performance of his side despite a 1-1 draw against Cameroon. The Eagles were close to another resounding victory after Simon Moses had given the team a first-half lead, but they were held back by a Vincent Abubakar penalty for Cameroon. Despite the setback, the Eagles remain unbeaten on top of the group with 10 points and need just one more point to ensure qualification for the 2018 World Cup. The Eagles' next match is against Zambia on October 7th in Uyo. Anthony Joshua's promoter has revealed his heavyweight title defense will be held in Cardiff on October 28, 2017. Joshua will definitely face a mandatory challenger, Cobra Pulev, to defend the title won in April this year. Now, Eddie Hearn says the game will be played at the Principality Stadium in the Welsh capital. Brazil's federal police is investigating allegations of corruption to secure the hosting rights for the 2016 Olympic tournament. The police on Tuesday raided the home of National Olympic Committee President Carlos Arthur Nosman to probe a suspected international vote-buying scheme. Police are also serving 2 arrest warrants and conducting search and seizure operations as part of the investigation started 9 months ago in cooperation with French authorities. Well, that's all we have on news now. Thanks for watching. I am Thelma Okoro.